very, very, very good morning to you. Very, very fresh London Stadium welcome. Bristol West End. I hope you are all safe and well. If you're new, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. I do apologise. Someone with a massive tanker of oil has just literally walked past seconds, having started this live stream. Obviously, we play Bristol City today, 2 o'clock kickoff, and over 7,000 Bristol City fans will be travelling here today, which is, according to Ben from Robbins Online, I'm told, is the second most away support ever, second largest. The first being in the war, or just after the war, which is Second World War, which is absolutely mental. So the magic of the FA Cup still is strong amongst some people. Glorious day here today. Not a cloud in the sky, so it's absolutely Baltic. Don't know if I can just see. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful blue skies. Hey, Mr. Blue Sky, indeed. And I am freezing my tits off just for you guys. So don't forget to give it a like, because I'm freezing my tits off for you. Good morning, Michael. Michael Bleasley, Michael Breeze. In all honesty, it's so cold here. Wayne, all in caps. Good morning, Rusty. Hope you wrapped up well. Superman Timbers. So 9,000 will probably outsing us. Bowen hat-trick today. Come on, you Irons. Come on, you Irons, indeed. I'm excited. It's a it's a bit of a breakaway from the Premier League, isn't it? And obviously, we've got 2 weeks off after this, in terms of our next game being obviously Sheffield United away. If we do, unless we get a replay, of course. Unless we get a replay, which would be in between that. So it's not going to impact our Premier League season. If we do win today, whoever qualifies for the fourth round will be picked. Will be drawn on Monday night, and it will be the ties will be the 27th, or the weekend of the 27th of January. So we'll have 2 games in there, so another game before then. Good morning, Mark. Hope you're well. Percy, good morning. Hope you're 7 youngsters. I don't think we will. I'll be honest, Percy. I did my predicted 11 yesterday. I think we'll see one. Part of the reason is because one of them's gone to the AFCONs, one of them's now injured for another 2 weeks, and one of them potentially is going to be going to Wolves on loan. So I think we may see this one starts. I think you can guess who I think will start. But apart from that, maybe the right back, you might have Levi Lang or Dan Chesters, or Dan Chester hasn't really had much of a sniff in there. I think you see a lot of the bench. And maybe we can give them a bit of some minutes. We'll see. Mark, good morning to you. Mickey the Fish, are we on telly today? I don't know, mate. But we're doing the watch along, so just watch us on the watch along. Watch Anton on the watch along. He'll be alive just for 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock kickoff. We'll also before then have the predicted 11 show about midday-ish, and so there'll definitely be some coverage. And then afterwards, myself and Anton will probably do our little review show when I'm live from here. 13 days, does Moyes go strong? I think he does. As strong as he needs to. Thinking about it more last night, I think the likes of Zuma, we don't have to play today. I wouldn't say it's going to be our strongest 11, but we don't have to play Zuma today. Obviously, we're not going to play Mikel Antonio now. He'll be back, hopefully, for the Sheffield United game, which I think we'll need him by then. We don't need necessarily to play Lucas Paqueta if he's available. We can give him another 2 weeks rest, because February, we've got a lot of games. I think we've got like five Premier League games in February, which is a short month. And then March, we've got 4 or 5 Premier League games already. Plus, we've got the 2. I think we've got 4 Premier League games. Plus, you've got the 2 last 16 Europa League games. So, actually, if we can give them another week's rest, I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. Have him on the bench. If we need to bring him on, bring him on. But I don't think we desperately need to put out our strongest available 11. So, although there's going to be considerations, there's a Granny Dings. By the sounds of it, Wolves are interested in a loan deal for him. it wouldn't make any sense for us to play him today if we can play Mbama, because he's. I mean, if Mbama goes out on loan, signs a new contract, goes out on loan this month, then being cup tied isn't going to be a massive bind. Whereas someone like Danny, it might be, for example. So I can see that. I can see that's going in terms of the starting lineup. Which youngsters would like to see today? As I think we'll see. I think we'll see Divine for sure. And then the others, I'd like to see him give them. I'd like to see Callum Casey get some minutes. I'd like to see Lewis Orford. Lewis is a good player, but I would like to see. I could see, second half. Say for example, it's a comfortable. It would be nice if it's comfortable for once. Second half, I'd like to see Lewis come on for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe replacing a JWP midfield. He's a good player. Lewis is going to be. He's the next one. He's the next one off the production line. He's very, very good, very, very assured of himself. And we had quite a few on the bench, didn't we? Again, maybe the likes of Callum Marshall. Be great to see him get some minutes, but I don't think they're going to start. They'll be on the bench. I think our bench will be full of the academy players, pretty much, bar maybe one or two extras. But I think we'll have lots of the first team squad will be playing pretty much almost exclusively. Freezing your moves off, you better believe, mate. This is what I'm built for. This is what I'm built for. This is what I've been training for. Players that could move won't play, or it will cut time. Exactly, Michael. And I think there's there's a balancing act, isn't there? So, for someone like Saïd Benrahma, he's heavily linked with some Premier League clubs. So actually, does he play? Because although he's also linked to Saudi Pro League, he's linked to a couple of sides in League A. If you cup tie him, would it mean that there's less teams after him? Possibly. Whereas someone like Fornals, I haven't heard anyone really from the Premier League coming for him. So for me, I'd probably start Fornals instead of Benrahma in that left-sided position. Granny Dings, definitely, I don't see starting. Cresswell, I don't see starting or playing at all. Same as Granny, to be honest. But who knows? That's the thing. We just don't know. Not on TV. I watch them. Morning, mate. Morning, Paul. Another Hope Hatters isn't Flats Premier League games at this time. I think it's different. FA Cup games are always different. They've got 9,000 Bristolians all drinking their scrumpy all the way up here, so they're going to be be a good away day for them. Cup games are a bit different, aren't they? It's like even when you get the European games here, they do have a different vibe. It's bloody freezing today, so I think people will. But then by 2 o'clock, it might have warmed up. We're having a bit of a cold snap in the UK now, or cold in terms of probably under 5 degrees for the next few days. So people will be wrapped up. But it's on the pitch, isn't it? The atmosphere only, the fans will always be up for it from the beginning. They'll sing bubbles, they'll do all that stuff. But if the stuff on the pitch doesn't match it, then you're never going to. It's never going to. The fans won't generate an atmosphere for the atmosphere's sake. It's a two-way, and I've said this a million times. It's a two-way process in terms of the atmosphere here. 2 p.m. Sundays, we've got to get used to them because, we're going to come March, we've got back-to-back 2 p.m. home games. We will do when they've rearranged them. Actually, I think one has been rearranged to Mothering Sunday because of the Europa League on the Thursday. So, still, you've got all these types of things. But, if we, the thing is, starting someone like Divine up front, that's going to get if he starts him up front, the crowd will get going. The crowd will get going. I think we're going to be reasonably strong. I think you'll see a similar side, probably to the side we played against Brighton. Maybe with Soufal maybe coming in for Ben Johnson. He's back. But again, if we don't need to risk him, again, another player, Ben Johnson, we don't need to play him necessarily to be cup tied. Maybe give someone like a Levi Lang a run out on the right side, maybe. He was obviously on the bench. I can't see us. I can see it being Angelo and Mavropanos in the middle. Can't really see them bringing in a Kalen or maybe even a Luizao. Remember him? So I don't think you're going to see a load from the start, but hopefully I'd like to see if you can get some minutes. because we have got some good players. I don't think I don't think the academy as a group whole, everyone's a world beater. But there's one or two I think could break through. As I said, Divine definitely. Lewis Orford is someone that not just West Ham, but it seems football are really excited about as well. So maybe, and obviously then you've got the likes of like Ollie Scarles. But again, the thing is about the academy is they've got the Bristol City's Motors Trophy on Wednesday. So yes, I think Divine will start, but I don't think he'll start not necessarily because of that, but they'll have that in the back of their mind as well. Cordalin's up front. No, there we go. Corday will never play, although he'll probably play today. Then I said that. Ings, I don't think they'll start him at all. Russ in Cape Town. I agree. Zuma, leaving Paqueta, play these young guns, give them a chance to prove themselves. I don't think they will play them from the start. I think you've got enough in the squad, particularly with a 2 week gap until the next game. Because the last thing you want to do is get a replay here. We want to kill the tie off. We don't want to go to Ashton Gate next week, probably, won't it be next week? I'd imagine. We want to have this 2 week gap and give players a chance to get a bit of recuperation, to rest, because we've got a very busy February and March coming up. So actually, and with then as well, obviously the AFCONs and things like that. So I'd rather just kill it off if we can, but we never do. Do we? Good morning, mate. Can't be watching today and can't get excited. Irish time is right after Liverpool. How can you get excited about the cup when Moyes could throw it in any time? Oh. The Liverpool game, I can't understand that. But I can get excited, and I think I've been a fan long enough. I've been a fan, from birth. Yeah, I've been a fan for 40 odd years, and I still get excited for the FA Cup. I think it's people's outlook of life. I'm every game I get excited for, because anything can happen. In the same way that anything could happen for that Liverpool game, anything could happen. Like how many of us predicted we were going to beat Arsenal with Angelo Bonner playing centre half? No one. But anything can happen. We could lose 3 or 4 nil here if we play shit and Bristol City turn up, or we could be a 1-0 drab win, or we could turn it up. We just don't know, mate. So that's why every game you've got to watch every game. Needs to be routine. It'd be nice if it was pretty, but cup win will do. We definitely will get Liverpool or Arsenal next year. Would you be interested in signing Borges? He signed for over us, but could return to England. No, I think the whole Carlos Borges. I think part of it, I reckon, was as a smoke screen for what's the name to get in Kudus or someone like that, because it just seemed like we were getting him, and Ajax came straight in, and then because he went to Ajax, it freed up the potential for us to get Kudus in. And as we said yesterday, Fabrizio Romano has come out and said Bergwijn is one of our top targets. I think he could do a good job for us personally. Carlos Borges does fit the profile, but as the famous Netflix series says, fool me once, fool me twice, and I can't see it happening. Callum Marshall and Obama. I can't see Callum Marshall starting. I can see him maybe coming on if he's on the bench, but I can't see him starting. Obama, yes. Most players they want out now, so no crowds watching football. It does seem that a lot of there's a couple of them now, obviously Henderson and Firmino. Although Firmino he's quite happy to be there, but Henderson's an interesting one. But he's been there 6 months and he's what's he on, 700 grand? So he's earned about $750 a week in it, something like that, 700 a week, 740, 21. He's earned about 13, 14 million pounds. So of course he wants to come back. It's different. I was listening to Tony Cascarino on TalkSport this morning, and it's different compared to the Chinese Super League because no one in there spoke English. It was all very alien, so to speak. Whereas here, the Saudi Pro League, most live in Dubai and commute across to Saudi Arabia. And so they're playing no crowds, but people are going for the money, and maybe they go for a year. And the thing is, they're not going to let them out of their contracts. The Saudi Pro Leagues aren't going to let them out of their contracts unless there's a massive fee. And now also the Saudi Pro Leagues type teams have gone from 8 to 11, I think. Non like basically foreign players now, so they're going to be wanting to buy loads more in as well. So it's not good advertisement for them if people want to leave already. But it's money, isn't it? Moyes needs to take this seriously after the last cup exit. We would like to think that, when we're Mickey, as fan base, I'm always excited for the FA Cup. Always, it brings back. Obviously, I never saw us win it in my lifetime. I remember, 2006. Yeah, the final was awful, but I remember that semi-final. Dean Ashton, Marlon Harewood, and he does. There's, I think there was the whole. What was it? The Adrian gloves off, Angelo Bonner scoring that goal at Liverpool against Liverpool at the bowling. I do get excited. It's a one-off, isn't it? And it's going to be exciting. Bristol City, mugs. Liam Manning, who's a Bristol City manager, he was our former under-23 manager, won the Pre-L2 with us. So he'll come back and he'll want to do one over on us, won't he? Of course he will. And I think for a lot of their players, opportunity to play at the Premier League Stadium as well, they'll be up for it, and we should be up for it as well. It's. I always get excited, and maybe it's not the most glamorous tie. Maybe you wanted someone in a more lower league than the Championship side, but it's still going to be a good atmosphere. It's going to be a great game. Too many youngsters, and Moyes risks the wrath of Moyes out if you don't take it seriously. You're right, Mark. He's damned if you do and damned if you don't, in all honesty. So he could play the kids. I mean, don't forget that whole thing. You remember Big Sam played basically the whole side of kids pretty much against, was it Forest? And we lost like 5-1. And actually, speaking to people like Sebastian Leggett, who was part of that side, they went on to have a great career in the MLS. He said that really affected him, that match. So he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he plays, that's why I think he'll see. I mean, you see Obama play, but I consider him to be a first team squad player who occasionally plays for the under-21s. But I don't think you'll see wholesale changes. Even when we play like Europe to the Europa League and the Premier League, there's only be 4 or 5 changes, and they're going to be squad players in the first team. So I don't think you're going to see, a whole team of kids here, because Bristol City could easily do a job on us if that's the case. Morning, Ryan. I'm bringing the family and missus. Good on you, mate. Wrap up warm. Won't be easy indeed. Probably start with Ings. Don't think so, Steph, because it'll be cup tied. Just needs a goal. That counts to it indeed. I remember from a strong tackle. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. It doesn't take a lot to get the crowd going. In fact, I think even the Brighton game, I think it was like JWP running after the ball 3 or 4 times after, they were doing like this little triangle between the goalkeeper and centre, and he was and the crowd got going, and it doesn't take a lot. It does not take a lot to get the crowd going. The crowd want to cheer. The crowd don't want to sit there be silent. They want to cheer, and they want, in the same way they want to be entertained. Of course, they want to be entertained as well, but they want to cheer. They want to really have a, they want to have a good time. They're going to come here, they'll have a couple of beers and all that stuff as well. So, as I said, you're right. Julian could orchestrate a crowd from left back just with a tackle or 30-yard ping ball, and that's all we need. It's not, but it's if there's nothing on the pitch for the fans to respond to, unless you're a crazy person and really drunk, you're not going to chant for 90 minutes non-stop, are you? Really? Which makes perfect sense. Otherwise, you're the crazy man in the corner, just shouting at people. We don't need Granny Dean selling to Wolves. I think it'll go on it'll go on loan, but we still would have to probably pay some of his wages, whether it's half or whatever, because there's no way Wolves are going to take 100 whatever a week for him. Marshall is mega. I totally agree. Needs game time outside. He needs to go out on loan, in my opinion. Don't get a few free kicks, indeed. Be nice for him to get another couple of assists. Free kick wise, he scores, I think it's like 1 in 10. That's his sort of average, isn't it, really? And I mean, he's only scored 8. I mean, but he's only scored 17 in his whole career. But yeah, it would be nice to maybe grab another one. If he gets, obviously, he's got the Premier League, so doesn't count towards David Beckham target. But you never know. And obviously, No, it's not. I was going to say it's not that. Ignore me. Liverpool game always had a tough choice. Unfortunately, the money's in the league. Sounds retired. Mark, I mean, look. At the end of the day, you can see when the what's it called, the accounts came out, um, the disparity between last season to the previous season. There was a downfall in about 16 million quid. 14 million quid of that is our league position. We finished seventh 2 years ago. We finished 14th last year. It's about 2 million quid a league position, roughly. So, unfortunately, that's where the money is at. And yes, and the thing is, that's a disparity in it. We see football as a passion. We see the FA Cup, and we love the FA Cup, and we want us to go far. We want to go to a cup final. We want to do. But in terms of reality, winning in the Premier League, you get a lot more. The only exception to that was when was in the Europa League, because by qualifying for Europa League, you get all this money, and so which is guaranteed. So that actually boosted us, obviously winning the Conference League. So you can see, but that obviously wouldn't necessarily filter into last year's accounts. That filter into this year's accounts in terms of the extra couple of million quid we get for winning the competition, plus the guaranteed group stage money, plus qualifying to the last 16. So, but you're right. The Premier League is where the money's at, unfortunately. Best in the world. What's screwed worldwide, indeed. Michael, good morning to you. I do. Nah, internal optimism supported by surrender of principles isn't exactly what's wrong with football and life in general. Not for me, but do appreciate your balanced positivity. I'm always, mate, that's my style. If people don't like it, you don't have to watch my style. You go watch people who are more negative. That's why I try and get on the channel. That's why I try and get like it's not all one opinion. So, myself and Anton, we're quite similar. In fact, Anton's probably more positive than me, really, to be honest. And then you've got Irish Tommy, who's not as positive. And we'll have some more faces coming on the channel soon as well. Again, different opinions, because that's what it is all about. It's not one narrative. It's not, it's all down, slip my wrists. I feel really so depressed because we're sick, and it's like, well, we're sixth in the league, you know what I mean? It's like, the most wins we've had in the calendar year. I'm always a half glass full. That's just my. But if I keep you entertained, that's the main thing. Did our academy beat them earlier season? They beat Bristol Rovers, not Bristol City. Martin, good morning to you. We'd love a bar to score today, indeed. Any legs on the Anderson rumour as a left? Well, yeah, apparently we have been linked. Although I think more likely destination of him will be Juventus, apparently. Us and Villa apparently linked to him. Again, it's coming through to the Mercato web. I can't see it really because Moyes got rid of him, didn't he? So, he got rid of any of the most of the Pellegrini signings apart from Fabianski and Fornals, really. But yeah, I can't see it happening. He's 30. I think there was talk of us maybe signing a pre-contract agreement because he's out of contract this summer. But no, I can't say. I think Bergwijn seems more interesting to me. Happy and good morning to you. Hope you're well. Nice to see you. What's the time? Okay, a minute. Is Pac-Man available today? Maybe the bench. Well, he's fit. Well, he said he was fit, wasn't he, when he took to Instagram? I'd put him on the bench. I wouldn't start him if he is fit. Everyone's talking to each other. Lovely. Rusty, give us a wave. There we go. Obama to score, maybe start. I think he will. I think he will start today. Football was always about opinions. Don't think Anderson would improve us. Totally agree, Mike. Hope you're well. Imagine you're travelling across. Be busy, mate. All those Bristolians on the old I go to Bristol all the time. M3. It's all about opinions, mate. And that's why I think it's always important to have lots of different opinions. Lots of different, because not everyone thinks the same way. If you look at social media, everyone wants Moyes out. But if you see everyone who comments on either, and I call it a narrative because it is a story, the sun just coming up. Love, it's a beautiful photo. M4, thanks, mate. in terms of, and I think you do hear from the loudest people on both extremes. Um, and there's a massive, you know, boys neutral bit who don't really talk. They just let it go over their heads. And that's sort of where I am in the middle. Do you know what I mean? And I've always been that way. And so that's why we try and have the breadth of it, because to represent the fan base, we're not everyone is Moyes in, not everyone is Moyes out. There is a spectrum, and we try and get people on each of the spectrums. Um, and as I said, we've got coming next few weeks. We'll have some more people coming on doing regular shows, which we've just signed off, or so, yeah, we're just talking about. So there'll be a lot more different opinions, because that's what's important, isn't it? Morning, Freemaker. I watch all the West Ham channels. Love the different points of view. Indeed, and it's interesting when you can see how people, and I totally understand people's opinions, people's different opinions. I don't necessarily always agree. I don't agree with them, and I think you shouldn't have to agree with me. It's your opinion, and if people do want to flip flop, if people do want to change their mind, they shouldn't be called out for being flip floppers. They should be allowed to change their mind, because things come to light and you change your opinion as the season goes along. I mean, the fact is, if you looked at it on paper, sixth in the league, most wins in a calendar year since nine. Well, the only exception I think is the 1981 calendar year, and we were in essence the championship that year. We've got a European trophy. We've got a first trophy in 43 years. Whether you think it's a third-rate trophy or not, it's a trophy. Something which I haven't seen as experience in my lifetime, albeit actually we did win the Inter Cup as well. So it's positive, but then obviously the flip side is the football isn't fantastic. It's not free flowing. It's not Man City esque. It's not Brighton esque. It's not but so I can see the difference in opinions there. People's things I don't necessarily agree with when people talk about Moyes not bringing through the youth team, because actually it's not just a Moyes thing. It's an issue across the whole Premier League, bar a few clubs. So that's when people dig him out for that. I don't agree with that, because as we said, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Says Mark. If you played a load of kids today and we lose 4 or 5-0, he'll be the Moyes out narrative will be dialed up even more, and that's my issue. That's my issue there, but that's just my own personal issue. Already here. Oh, congrats. Take care. Let's get cold indeed. How's Lizzie Lyon? I think it's actually okay today. People get polarised. They stay in a familiar echo chamber of like, good, that's a great shout, Mark. Yeah, you do. Although I like to talk. I like to engage. Not on social media, but like from a personal perspective, engage with people from a different perspective. Because as I said, we said it loads of times. Myself and Anton, we've got a lovely WhatsApp group with Nick from Claret Booze, and it's brilliant. And all we do is bounce off each other and take the piss out of each other and our views. But it's all very friendly, and he's never going to change. I'm not going to change his opinion. He's never going to change my opinion. But it's just like tennis. It's literally like voice note tennis, and I love it. Under 18s went top. They did. Doing very well this year. What are you doing so early on Sunday? Well, I'm working, don't I? So I'll be going in. I better go in a minute. Support club, don't get involved with individuals. You'll always get bad taste. Good shout. It's not flipping, it's taking into consideration. That's what I mean. I totally agree. And I think sometimes if you're so steadfast, yes, you could be seen as being very, very strong-minded, but also you could be seen as being very stubborn and not taking into account actually this and that and this and that and this and that. So, yeah, it's not good to stand out. Yeah, I think forever. I think I think having the open-mindedness rather than being bloody-mindedness, is that a good way to think about it? People's opinions change all the time. And as I said, I don't agree when people get called out for flip-flopping. I don't let that. That to me is. It means you can never change your mind. So that's very dictatorial, isn't it? Really, where I don't really see, just don't see that being as an issue. You're allowed to change your mind. It's not being fair. It's not being a flip flopper. Debates are great to let off steam. Totally agree. Yep, agreed. Yeah, you're right. It's not a personal say. I mean, yeah, yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, you're totally right. Perhaps we could do better. Now, there's a thought. I'm prepared. Perhaps I'm prepared to take the risk now, and before we go out for whatever reason. Ooh, there we go. We could do better. We can always do better. Every side can improve, can't they? Can't they, mate? You know, you got to think someone like, look at Man City, look at Arsenal at the moment. You know, 1 point in the last 12. 1 point in the last 12. We've got 10 in the last 12. That's not bad, is it? You know, I better get moving. Yeah, you know, if you look at our sort of last 4 games compared to Arsenal's last 4 games, as I said, you know, we've got 10 points, they got 1 point. That ain't too bad, though, is it, mate? That ain't too bad, is it? Can't see it being too bad, in honesty. But I know what you mean. But at the end of the day, it's your opinion, mate. And I've always said, you know, this is our channel is about opinions. It's about letting people of all discussions come on and not be vilified for having a different discussion. I think sometimes people do get vilified for having a different discussion, having a different viewpoint. You know, they're seen as naive. They're seen as, well, as you said to me, you know, very optimistic. But that's just me as an outset. If it was all the same, it'd be a bloody boring place, wouldn't it, in this world? There's only be one YouTube channel. There'd be no one with different opinions. There'd be no one talking about things differently, having different points of view. And yeah, that's the wonderful world we live in, mate. Short, happy for Moyes to stay longer term. Do you think you not think? Yeah, I think that's probably fair enough, Mark. And I would agree with that, to be honest. And, you know, I think I think at the moment we're in a good vein of form at the moment. You know, we are getting the results, and regardless of what people say, whether we're lucky or not, you're doing a bit of luck in football. And if Moyes is a lucky manager, so be it. I'm happy for him to be a lucky manager, because don't forget, him doing well now, if you want a new manager to come in, they will have bigger budgets. They'll have European football. They will have, so actually you do want West Ham to do well. You do want Moyes to do well now if you want potentially a new manager. A new manager can come to us if we finish 16th this season and get knocked out of Europe and, you know, plod along and the fan base turns against them. What manager would want to come to that? An absolute nutter would want to come to that, and then you'd end up with another firefighter, and we'll have the same situation as we do in the next 3, you know, the current situation now with some people in terms of how they see David Moyes. So, you know, for me, it's, you know, it's get behind the team, get behind the manager, because actually at the moment it will benefits the people on both sides of the narrative. Because if Moyes does very well, then he might get a new contract. But if Moyes does do well, and he isn't offered a new contract, then a new manager comes in, gets a better league position, better squad potential, more attractive players potentially, because we'll be in Europe again, because of maybe league position. So it's not all, you know, when people I think people again have a short-term view. But I agree totally with what you're saying, Mark. Totally. Moyes out wants to take a gamble, take it all away for the sake of football. To be better than Moyes, you have to break top 6. Yes, totally right. Where's Flo? In bed, like any sane person would, not freezing his arse off at West Ham. Any business, if manager accountable for the performance, we are allowed to criticise and question results. Surely, of course you are. Of course you are. Of course you're allowed to criticise. You know, like we do. We always do a review show. If Moyes gets it wrong, I say Moyes gets it wrong. And if we win well, we win well. You know, I mean, if you're talking about performance, it's what people, you know. I think there should be a balancing act between performance and results. And at the moment, results are good, the performance is not so. So, you know, it's 6th in the league. most wins of the calendar year. You know, that ain't too shabby. But yeah, the performance have been boring, have been poor at times. You know, you get games like the Arsenal game, for example, where it was brilliant. You know, and he was playing that system against the right team, and it worked. Unfortunately, you play that same system against a side like Bristol City today, which you probably will do, um, and it could be boring. And and I think, it's ironic because you talk to some. I talked to some Spurs fans, and also who else was I talking to? Was it a Brighton fan the other day? And they would love their side to occasionally shit house a game, to just tight it up, bring players, bring another central defender on, and or central midfielder, when they're winning, and just win the game that way, just close the game off. So even their fans aren't 100% enamoured with everything because they lost. Particularly Spurs went for that run, didn't they? Where they lost four in a row, lost winning positions 4 times in a row, and also lost to us as well. So it is exactly. You're totally right. It's mental. It's mental. You don't know what you got till it's gone, and people coming out and saying Arteta to go. But then I think, Michael, we would be the same. There would be a percentage of the fan base, if we were in that position, calling for our manager to go if we'd only got 1 point in the last 12. Unfortunately, I think there always will be. You're never going to get someone who, unless you are Pep Guardiola, who is behind the manager, maybe Liverpool, even they went for a bit of a dodgy patch, didn't they, for a while? You'll get a manager who will unite the fan base 100%. Because even if Moyes goes in the summer and we get a new manager in, there will be a percentage of people who still want David Moyes. And as soon as the new manager buggers up, they'll say, told you so, told you so. In the same way that the Moyes out brigade, every time we lose a game, say, told you so. And every time they win a game, say, oh, we were lucky. So you're always going to get different narratives, whatever happens. Good morning, mate. Hope you're well. Oh, it's not, yeah. Love Arnie from Feyenoord. As I said, we have been chasing a lot of Eredivisie managers, players. Obviously, we're looking at Jimenez knock on from Feyenoord in the summer. He turned down Spurs, didn't he? And they got Ange. So, yeah, possibly. Comfortable 2-0. Now, to criticise Dale football dished up next week. My beef is the viewpoint that 7th is success should be failure. Oh, interesting, Cockney. I like that. So what is success? How do you gauge success then? In fact, it's a really interesting viewpoint. I'd love to know why you think 7th is success. Is it because we should aspire to break into the top 6? Probably. But you're right. I mean, it is more often not quite boring football. It is. But Moyes has never changed. This has always been his style. And it's not like he's over the last season become dull. It's just, unfortunately, particularly last season, he was not getting the results. Sorry, the sun is blinding me. So he wasn't getting the results. So therefore, it highlighted his performances. Same as Thomas Suchek. Thomas Suchek last year was dug out quite a lot, and the season before that, he was scoring 10 goals. He was scoring 8 goals. He was contributing that way. So sort of like when you're not getting the results, you start looking at, under the bonnet a little bit. And some people say, oh, I've always criticised David Moyes, and fair enough, he probably always had. But he's never going to change his style, is he? I'm trying to see at the same time. Of course, you have to be critical always, but you have to take everything into consideration. Good and bad, agreed. Morning, we should get Mike Crack. Mike Crack, very good. Very good. Come on, West Ham. Should be battling for the top 6 regardless. I can't read it, so regardless, we ain't a small club. Yeah, and I think maybe the move to the London Stadium did exasperate everything around that situation, maybe. Manager aside, where the league should our first team be? Well, I mean, I've always said You know, our first 11 is definitely up there in the top 8, I'd say. I think, you know, it's, of course, I'd love to break into the, you know, top 4, top 6. Realistically, I don't think we've got enough depth in the squad or quality. I think that's the issue. Whereas the bigger sides, the top sides, have got better squad players. I think we've got a lot of squad deadwood. So that to me is the main difference of us and a Man City, for example. We're good, fighting for Europe. Bad football is mainly poor. Can't close our eyes. You're totally right. At the moment, success to West Ham is football. I mean, you're right. I mean, the fact is, we have had 3 successive years in Europe, which is the first time we've ever done it in our history. And then if we get Europe again, that's 4 years in a row. That is huge for a club like West Ham, who haven't been in Europe in successful seasons. You know, I think coming back to it, Slav and losing to Astrogoogle and stuff like that, and that's what needs to be built. It needs to be built. You know, you can't run before you walk, and I think we are now trotting. We're not full sprint yet, but we're trotting. Come down. I will try, Chris. Is it realistic to achieve better than what we've got? We'll see. That's about right. Have a good one. Take care, man. Results don't matter as much. Intent and performances. That's the West Ham way. Some people have forgotten. When was the last time we played the West Ham? I need to have a proper chat with you about it. So I'm fascinated because I know you've been a West Ham fan for many years. When was the last time we played the West Ham way? I remember Sam Allardyce criticising us the West Ham way. Maybe that season at the Bowling, 16, the last season at the Bowling was the last time. But even that, and they come back to here. We didn't play the West Ham way here. I think we have I think that narrative comes from, no disrespect to you, comes from the older fan base, where it was about, you know, where we were proverbially a yo-yo side, in and out of the league, in and out of the top flight. A couple of years of this. I mean, this at the moment is the longest ever time we've been in the Premier League, in the top flight in our history, and I think there's a romanticism about that. And I think that to me is the, when you see the narrative. I hate saying the narrative, but it is, because it's different opinion. And I think that's the issue. That's the issue you get. You get the fans from bygone age where it was about playing good football, and they didn't care about where they were in the league. But unfortunately, now you're in a situation now where football's and money is, there's so much money in the game that the Premier League, to survive, not only to thrive, but to survive, you have to be in the Premier League, and you have to, if you want to attract the best players and things like that. And I think that's a disparaging. I'm talking fans' ethos. Top 6, look at the league. That way, we think we're small. No news. I'm going to have to go there in it. West Ham way. What is it? Attack and be a yo-yo side. Good luck to you. Every year gets harder and harder. Did you do double kebab? We didn't. I did Chinese. Thanks for asking. Moyes is doing what he can. The depth, I think that needs to be addressed by Tim in terms of squad depth. We've got a lot of deadwood, and I think we need to really address that. Late 80s was the West Ham era for me. Yeah, exactly. So a situation where we were yo-yoing. We won the FA Cup. We won the FA Cup being a lower league side. So yeah, I get that. Anyway, we should have a proper chat about it. I think that's a great show to have a debate about. Maybe we'll do that in the next 2 weeks, hopefully. I agree. We break for 50, the others pay 50. Yeah, totally right. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much. The only way, in Essex, and everyone else for your comments. Great chat, great voice. That's woken me up now. Anyway, keep an eye on the channel. Out of our starting 11 of the show. Maybe we'll play the West Ham way today. Who knows, my friends? And I will see you guys very, very soon. Take it. Don't forget to give it a like, because I'm freezing my arse off. That's the least you can do. Least you can do. And take care. Much love, and we'll see you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.